Hello and welcome back to Channeling Consciousness. I'm Michelle. Today's reading is going to be a little different. I thought today, instead of doing a general tarot reading, that we would use cards to tap in and see what spirit messages come through from loved ones on the other side. This is going to be kind of an experiment. We'll see how it goes. And what I mean by that is, just like I said, loved ones on the other side. So let me do my disclaimers first. As always, my readings are for entertainment purposes only. Always use your own intuition. If there's anything medically or legally going on, please seek professionals in those fields to help you with those things. Because this is a general reading, I am going to try, we're going to try this out, and we're going to pick two piles. And we're going to focus on, I want you to either pick pile number 1, which is this raw piece of kunzite, or pile number 2, which is this half raw, half polished piece of labradorite. So those are our two piles that we're going to pick from. I'm going to shuffle and prepare the deck. So we'll put pile number 1 over here and pile number 2 over here. You can pick whichever pile. You're more than welcome to watch both of them and see what resonates. Maybe you've got messages from the other side from two individuals. I'm sure that you all have people that would like to communicate with you. So please keep in mind, if one of these messages does not hit it out of the ballpark for you, so to speak, that I am merely the vessel, and the messages have to still come through me as a filter. So Spirit has to work with my experiences and my knowledge and try and give me images or words that help say, help jog my own brain to get me to say what it is that they're trying to say to you. So please don't ever believe when you go to a medium that your person did not show up. Sometimes there's attunement that has to happen, and everybody has to be on the same right frequency. Right frequency isn't necessarily the right word, but on the same frequency in order to receive the message, as far as the loved one on the other side and the medium that is attempting to receive those messages for you. So this is going to be, like I said, a different type of reading. Because this is general reading, that's why I'm doing two piles. And because this is general, keep in mind that I don't know if 2 people are going to watch this, or if 25 people are going to watch this, or 2,500 people are going to watch this. And so everything that is said will not necessarily apply to each person that watches this. So please keep that in mind. I know I just feel led to do it this way today. So whoever sees this at some point is supposed to hear this message. And so I'm just going to trust the universe to do their thing. And I'm going to attempt to allow myself to do the thing to get us where we need to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my fairy deck, okay? And so I'm going to do like I normally do. I'm going to pull, I think, 2 or 3 for each pile. And those are just going to symbolize to us kind of maybe the relationship dynamic that you may have had with this person, or maybe their life journey. Something along those lines is what I'm hoping for from this deck right here. And then we're going to pull from this deck. These are Talking to Heaven by James Van Praagh. So they have messages in them like, you may not understand everything now, but everything happens for a reason. Maybe I would have lived life differently if I had known then what I know now. I'm surrounded by loving animals. So those are just some of the actual messages. Just so that we have, I can get those messages, but just so that we have something concrete for you to look at. And then we're going to use this other deck that is the Power of Love deck. And each one of these has a word on it. And I'm going to ask that Spirit use these to help us as they give us messages. Like, is there a message that they want you to take forward with you? Not just specifically from them and the love that they have for you, but a piece of empowerment for you, okay? So that's what we're going to do. We're going to see how this shakes out. I'd like everybody to take a nice deep breath, and I'm going to pull, and I'm just going to set them up here, back or upside down, still facing the other direction so that you're not influenced by whatever the images are, okay? Okay, so remember, you can take this moment as I shuffle, because I like to shuffle on camera if I can, so that you know that it's happening in real time. So there's our 3 there. Let's get our 3 for the, actually, I'm going to do 2 of these on this deck. This one and this one. And then we're going to get one message from our love deck. That one right there. Okay, so this is going to be pile number 1. So pile number 1, we've got our cards there, and let's get pile number 2. So the people that are more drawn to the labradorite, these are going to be their cards. More from the fairy deck. Okay, Spirit, you want to give us 2 more, that's fine. I'm going to follow your lead. 2 from our messages from Spirit deck, or messages from Heaven deck. And then 1 card, an extra bonus. What does your loved one want to tell you specifically as far as a self-care piece? Okay, so again, whichever one you're drawn to, that's where I'd like you to focus your attention. And we're going to start with pile number 1. I'm going to move this off to the side. At some point, I'm going to learn how to edit things, but that's not happening yet. So we're just going to go along the way that we're doing it. So if you've chose the raw kunzite piece, this is your message from Spirit today. Okay, our first card is the Princess of Winter. Inquisitive, truthful, realistic, undiplomatic information that can help you, but which may also be difficult to hear. Speaking the truth with kindness, an indigo child or adult. The King of Autumn, compassionate, accomplished, charismatic, gifted. Be assertive when it comes to what you know is right. Everything going your way. A good person or company to work for. So Spirit, the 5 of Winter, walking away from dishonest associations, realizing what you thought you wanted isn't the best choice for your happiness, something that's not worth the effort. Okay, so remember, I'm asking for information for these cards to help us understand who this person might be. Now, I can definitely get that information. Let me try and fix that. By tapping in, like, mediumistically, which I'm going to do. So I definitely feel like there's mother energy here. There's definitely female energy. To me, she was this Princess of Winter. She stood in her power. She could be a little sharp with her tongue, is the way I'm hearing it. Sharp with her tongue. And that was the truthfulness and the realistic part of it and undiplomatic, okay? So it could come across harsh. It could come across, as I said, sharp with her tongue. She's showing me that she may have, I'm just going to tell you what I get. She's showing me wearing glasses, and to me that feels like the need to look at things very closely. She may have actually worn glasses, but there's this piece of her that is very analytical and very, I don't want to paint this individual as in a negative light, but very kind of nitpicky, like, which could be a very good strength in certain aspects, because she paid very close attention to detail. She would pick up on the most minute pieces of detail. So if she was planning a party, like everything would be planned to the T. Every T was crossed, every I was dotted, everything was impeccably taken care of because she paid super close attention to detail. Those glasses that she's showing me, like, it very much magnified what needed to be done. And how that manifested in another way, though, was then she was also very detail oriented when it came to her children. And she's showing me 3, so it seems like there were 3 children. Maybe I'm just telling you what I'm getting. Maybe 2 girls and a boy. This is only going to be as good as my reception. And I shouldn't say that. I should just go with the flow. But sometimes it might come across as being very direct and very again, kind of a harsh tone, because she could see all the details. She could just see all the details, okay? She's very powerful, and, she's got this energy with her of this wintry cat. So she may have been a bit more of a loner, realistically. She may have on the outside been a very good leader, and possibly worked in an environment where she was in charge of a lot of things and a lot of people. And because she was detail oriented, like, everything was very meticulously taken care of in that department. But on the interior, she struggled a lot with her own stuff, a lot of unprocessed stuff. And so internally, she was not as outgoing, if that makes sense. This King of Autumn. So what I'm feeling like, because I asked for this to show us who they were and your relationship with them, is it feels like at some point in your relationship that you tried to be compassionate. And she is gifted and charismatic. And so again, on the outside, to the outer world, maybe volunteered, maybe just picked up a lot of things, had a lot of things on her plate, did a lot for a lot of people. But there lacked boundaries for you as you became an adult. So you struggled in the dynamic because you didn't feel like you could always be the child. You struggled with being seen and heard when you were a child. And so at some point, you tried to stand up for yourself, stick up for yourself. Not so much as a child, but as an adult, as you got older. And because, you had grown up trying to do whatever mom wanted, there may have been a time where there was some separation in your relationship with her. And this shows in the Five of Winter that walking away, like realizing that you can't have the exact relationship that, that picture perfect mother-daughter relationship that you hoped you would have, because she's just not able to do that in 3D life, okay? This doesn't make her a bad person. It's just the tools that she had in her life, the struggles she had in her life. She was working with what she was working with. And I feel like there's some guilt around that, both for you, but also for her, that she definitely, from the other side is like, I see some of that dynamic. And I do wish that had been different. And perhaps you've made a very conscious effort to not do that with your children. And she understands that. She very much understands that. There are ways that you're like her. In the I can take on a lot, and I can do a lot, and I can be of service to a lot of people. But you have also learned to cultivate your relationship with your children in a way that she was not able to, okay? So, this is our first message. I promise you, I did not peek at these until I picked this one up. I'm sorry, please forgive me. Please forgive me. Again, she was working with the tools that she had. There may have been times that you even felt like a burden for having needs as a child. And again, like, that was never the intention. It was never the intention behind it. She thought she was doing the right thing, always. And she just wanted you to be good. And you are inherently good. You are inherently good. And she has always believed you are inherently good. She has always seen the pure love that you are. But there was societal standards of how to raise children at that time. So I feel like this is like the 60s, 70s, maybe 70s. A little bit of that be seen, not heard. A little bit of that, like we see all this stuff about more gentle parenting now. This was not that era. And then it's not your fault. It is not your fault that you were met with a sharp tongue. It's not your fault that your mom was stressed out and she behaved in that way. It's not your fault that you were a child. You were a child. It's not your fault that as you got older and you tried to influence the dynamic in a way that made it feel like the mother-daughter relationship you wanted to. She was not able to do that. And that's not your fault, okay? Very strongly hearing that. She's showing me that maybe you guys, like maybe part of the way that you tried to bond with her, or that you did actually bond with her, was doing some sorts of like an arts and craft type thing. And that those were the times where she may have still nitpicked and said, hey, you did that loop wrong on that knitting or on that crochet. You didn't quite do what you're supposed to there. But that was bonding time where you could sit together and come together, and there didn't have to be any talking, that you were just in each other's presence. And the not talking is what actually made it good, because there was no, you could just feel loved in her presence in that type of environment, okay? And then the heart message that we have is virtue. You acknowledge your loving spiritual attributes that encourage others to grow. So she is saying that this is a part of you that she admires. This whole lot, when I talked about this connection where you did not necessarily carry the same pattern into your relationship with your children, she's acknowledging that and saying, like, you were able to, and even with your relationship with other people, where she was very goal and 3D driven and like let's cross the T's and dot the I's, you are able to see people in a way that she was not able to see people. And so you can get the same sorts of things accomplished, but people feel valued in your presence. And you encourage people to be who they are and show them that they are loved and accepted simply for the fact that they are part of the divine. Okay? They are not separate from, and that neither are you, and you're all part of the same. And she did not understand that in 3D world. She did not understand that when she walked the earth. She can see that now, but she didn't understand that. So it was not part of her practice. Okay? Let's see. Let's check in if there's anything else. I didn't say it enough. For sure, I did not say it enough. How proud I was of you, how proud I am of you for the way that you live your life now, but also of you as a child. So both. It's not just about when you were a child, but, not receiving the affirmations when you were little, but also how you are now and who you are as an adult. Okay, just a second. So she wants to acknowledge that. And not only is she proud of you, she's letting me feel that. She's letting me feel the love that she has for you. I will get you some more. Hold on. The love she has for you. Whew, I'm getting hot. But also for your children. And she says, you just wait. You just wait when you, as you approach, maybe you already are a grandmother, but the love that you will have for those children is even more immense. And it's indescribable. And so she's excited for that part of life for you. Okay? So that is your message from our pile number 1, the raw kunzite. I'm going to clear these and get the other pile here, and I'm going to go get more melts real quick. Real quick.
Thanks, Mama.
Okay. So with our pile number 2, I'm going to knock into this. Whoopsies. My apologies. I am not refined at this, but this is not this is not my special gift. And we all have the ability to tap in. So don't ever think that you don't have the ability to hear your own loved ones. They send us signs and messages and symbols all the time. Okay, so pile number 1, or pile number 2, if you chose the labradorite, which it's got some flashiness there, and there's some flashiness on this side. There's some. This is your reading. Your messages from your loved one. Again, I know I'm reading for many people potentially, so take what resonates, what does not. It may not completely all apply to you, but we'll just see what Spirit gives us, okay? So I still haven't flipped them. And in fact, I'm just going to leave them right there so you can see. The Ace of Spring, it's time to take action, be fearless, happily pursue your most treasured dreams, amazing career opportunities. Okay, so this person automatically already feels like they have a young, vibrant energy to them. Okay, young, vibrant energy to them. The Queen of Autumn, generous, stylish, gracious, practical. Be practical with respect to how you proceed, the ability to make anything more beautiful, meeting someone who can help your dreams come true. These are not going to stay just right. Number 3, the 10 of Springs, asking others for help. Oh, there's 2 talks about help here. Okay. 10 of Springs, ask others for help, all work and no play, being weighed down by too much responsibility. And remember, these are going to help us get a picture of who this person is. The Nine of Spring, protect the fruits of your labors, prepare for possible challenges, environmental conservation. All right. Oh, see, we've got 3 spring energies up here. Okay, so like I already said, this person feels like a youthful, vibrant energy, and that does not mean that they died young. That means that even as they aged, they had this pep in their step, okay? As they aged, they did not turn into the old elderly woman who was, I mean, they may eventually, but they did not appear to be the fragile elderly woman who no longer had the sharp wit, okay? This person carried their sharp wit through the end of life, absolutely through the end of life. They were just vibrant even as they aged. There may have been a level of sarcasm, there may have been a level of like just joyfulness and playfulness, and they were fun to be around. They made life fun because they saw life through the lens of, it's amazing to be here on this earth and walk this path. They knew that they were part of the divine. They were often tapped into that energy. They enjoyed, even if they may have not been like spiritual and into metaphysical things, like on that spiritual aspect, but they had a very definitive spiritual side to them, whether it was religious, like it may have been, because I'm seeing crosses, so it may have been religious in nature, but they definitely had the ability, like their joyfulness is because they lived in a space of alignment, is what I would say. Just a fun energy, fun, joyful person. That doesn't mean that they were never sad or never angry, but their overall being was this sense of joy, and I like to have fun, so let's make life fun, okay? I would say that also seeing this Queen of Autumn, it plays into this of being like generous, gracious, practical, kind of having this regal energy. Like I keep seeing, what I keep seeing is, even as an older person, like always wearing the lipstick, always having the hair done, always wearing the necklace, like putting on, like being dressed to the nines, that whole, that whole, what am I trying to say? That whole thing, I can't think of the right word, but being dressed to the nines, and like, and doing so because she took pride in herself, but also because she liked it. She simply liked it. She liked her lipstick. She liked to wear her pretty necklaces. It's like, I did not like when I had to stop wearing my heels because I got old. Like, she didn't like having to wear the old grandma shoes. Just a very fun, joyful energy, okay? And again, very generous. And I feel like this is where your connection with her comes in. I'm not sure what the connection is just yet. What is the relationship? We'll see if we get that. I'm sure it's there, but we'll see if I get it. But the 10 and the 9 of Spring, it's interesting that those both come out, because it didn't feel like she necessarily had to ask other people for help. It feels like she was one of those people who went out of her way to help others. She went out of her way to help others. She found joy and service. Her service in this world was to be of service, and not necessarily even for pay. She may have been like volunteer of the year for whatever organization she was most passionate about. Maybe animals is coming up. She was just very in tune with what she was passionate about, and she made no apologies for that. She lived her life in a way that she was very proud of. but not in the egotistical, like, look at me. But it's this, I am proud of what I'm doing because I'm being called to do this. And I love my life. I love what I have to offer in life. So maybe your relationship, so whatever your relationship, it's not even maybe, whatever your relationship was with this woman, she definitely influenced you. And she definitely was generous towards you. And that could have been financial assistance sometimes, but it was more about her giving heart and her showing up with her time, her showing up with her advice, her just sitting with people and listening to them and letting them be seen and heard. She had such a gift for just showing up for people in that way. This says protecting the fruits of your labor. Like, it just feels like she was one who would look out for the underdog. She would help carry the heavy load. And she would do so without expectation of the return on that generosity. Okay? She's not giving me like what she specifically did, like if she did something for a living. She's not even showing me like being a homemaker or anything like that, because the message is that was not what I got paid for, was not my purpose. If she even had a, like, you know, all people do something, right? But her purpose and what she's most proud of and what she really wants to reiterate is this act of service through love, how she carried that through her life. Okay. Her messages, oh, life is a series of choices, choose love. Whew, I feel that. I'm getting goosebumps. I don't know if you can see them. You probably can't see them on my camera. I've got goosebumpies. That is how she lived her life. That is absolutely how she lived her life. Life is a series of choices. Choose love. That doesn't mean she never got mad. That doesn't mean bad things never happened to her. But it was okay. Here's how do we deal with it? Do we deal with it with fear, or do we deal with it with love? Do we deal with it with anger, or do we deal with it with love? Okay? And sometimes dealing with stuff with love still means you have to do hard things. But and then it was my time to go. It was my time to go. There feels, in both of these readings, there feels like this energy of being like in a nursing home or in hospice or being in a care facility of some sort. And I don't necessarily feel like there was any specific major illness. I don't feel like there was a major illness that took this person or like an accident. It just feels like literally it was my time to go. Like, I've lived this fantastic, marvelous life, and it has been such a joy and a privilege. And now I get to go back to the other side. And like, that was joyful. There was a lot of reunion for her there. Willingness is her message to you. You are able to compromise if the end result is love. Willingness to step in, willingness to help, willingness to say, okay, you know, what can I do? Where can I compromise? Because again, choosing love here. Literally, both times, choosing love. You're able to compromise if the end result is love. If you're choosing from love and the end result is love. That's what she's kind of telling us here, is that, you know, there are choices and there are things that come up. There are hard times that you have to walk through. And your decisions, sometimes it feels like there's not a right choice. It's always the right choice if it's coming from a space of love. Okay. Is there anything else? I'm sure that there's plenty more. But is there anything else right now I heard the name Nina. I don't know. That's not a name that's a normal name for me in my life. So I don't know if that is her name, your name. It sounded like Nina. I could say maybe it was Nana. Maybe this is a grandmother figure to you. But I did hear the word, or hear the name Nina. And I'm going to take a chance on here and say Farfignugan. I don't know why the heck I heard Farfignugan, but I hear Farfignugan. So maybe there's a joke there for somebody. But Farfignugan, okay, I haven't heard that, and I can't even tell you the last time I thought of that word or used that word, like decades. So that's fun. Is there anything else? I'm specifically being drawn to ladybugs here, and for me, ladybugs are a symbol for my mom. So, maybe this is a mother figure. I know I already said it could be Nana since I heard Nina, but it could be a mother figure for you. But I feel like more importantly, what I'm supposed to be getting from this particular thing is that you see signs from her. And sometimes you question whether those signs are actually her or whether it's a coincidence. And maybe like your husband is like, it's just a coincidence. Of course you would find that here. Don't let somebody talk you out of your signs, she says. Because I'm going to use whatever's available to me to talk to you. Okay? So take those signs. They're meant for you. Don't let anybody talk you out of them. All right? Is there anything else, a specific message? It sounds like maybe it seems the underlying tone of her message is that there are hard things happening right now, and that you're walking this path where you're having to make choices. And again, this coming in up here along with this choices and this compromise. I feel like she's telling you it's okay to make the hard choices. Oh, isn't spirit funny? So my phone died. And, at the beginning of my reading, I said that I needed to learn how to edit, and I hadn't figured that out. So we weren't going to do that today, but apparently we are going to learn how to edit today. So let me feel back into this a little bit better now that my phone is recharged. We were at the end, and this woman who she feels like she feels like a mother figure. So she may not actually be a mother. She may be a grandmother. She may be an aunt. She may be somebody that you looked up to as a mother figure. Maybe she's a friend of a friend's mother, who was also very big part of your life. There is this motherly energy, and it feels very maternal. Like it feels like it could be on the maternal side as well. But her essence is just joyful. Oh, she's coming closer. Just joyful. Oh, I love her energy. Like I want to be in that energy. But the message that she wants you to hear today, is that she sees, and so does everybody else on the other side. Like it feels like she's the one that stepped forward, and I picked her up first. But it does feel like there are many others with her. And she just wants you to know that she understands that it's hard. She knows that it's hard. That you're having to make some tough choices that you don't want to make, and that it feels like there's no right answer. And that you really, she's like, if I were still there, I would definitely be showing up to help you, my love. I would be there in a heartbeat. So know that even though she's not in the physical, that she's still there, and she's still showing up in a heartbeat She is there. She is there. She is there. She is there. She wants you to feel her love. She wants you to feel supported. And it's not just her support, but the support of many, many others on the other side for you. And that, you just need to feel into their love and help that. And she wants that love to help guide you into making these decisions that are hard to make. And they feel like no-win decisions. Like they feel like no matter what you do, there's not going to be, there's not a right decision. So basically she's just like, do your best to follow the love. Do your best to follow the love. And you will get through it. It's not forever. Things will be better on the other side. Yes, on the other side of the world. The other side, she's laughing at me. She's like, no, not, make sure you clarify this. Not like, just when you die, but also on the other side of this difficult situation that you're going through. Okay. She just really wants you to feel her love wrapped around you right now, and is encouraging you to ask for help in the physical. She says you've got people. Ask them. If they don't know, they can't help. She's like, we know everything over here. We know everything over here. So you're not asking us, but we know that you need help. And we're going to show up for you. But the people in 3D don't always know that you need help. Please ask them for help, she says. Please ask. People don't always know. And if you're carrying it well, they don't know that you need help. And they don't always know how to help you. Okay, so ask. Ask. She very much enjoyed her time with you. It seems like maybe you feel like you were the only receiver when there was time spent together. Like she obviously, like almost like if she was a caretaker or if she was the one providing help or advice or any of that stuff, like that she did not also benefit from the relationship, that maybe you feel like it was kind of one-sided where you were the only one benefiting from it. And she wants you to know that that is absolutely not the case. Because you were valuable and important and full of love and full of life and joyful. And her quick wit, she's just got this fun about her that made her enjoyable to be around. So she says, make jokes. Even if it's hard, make jokes. Make jokes. It doesn't matter. She's like, even if you're making jokes about hard things like dying or divorce or illness or money matters, it's okay to laugh at our humanness. It is okay. It is okay to feel the full range of emotions. And it's good to laugh at ourselves. And it's good to have fun. So just because you're going through a hard time doesn't mean that you cannot find joy and fun. Okay? She's asking you, like, okay, let's unblend here, and she's just blowing me kisses, lots and lots of kisses, like both hands, like if these are your lips, blowing you lots of kisses, and wants to hold your face and remind you how much she loves you and how much you are loved, so much love. Don't ever forget it, she says. Okay. And with that, I will leave you with those messages. Thank you so much for trying out a new way of doing something different today with me. I hope these messages find whoever they're meant to be seen by. If it resonates with you, great. If you just stuck around to see how I was going to do this, because I honestly didn't know how I was going to do this. It was just kind of spirit-led, and I just kind of did it. So, if I were to do like an actual mediumship session with somebody, it would be far more in depth with far more evidence of who the person is, because I'd be speaking to one specific person. And that would definitely look different. but I just wanted to try something out with the cards to help us get a picture of who the person is, just so that you have something visually to see, and to see if there were any messages here that we could use. And then so these are just tools, you know, cards are tools, crystals are tools, they're just tools. And so for me, like I can go straight to, but it's always fun to use the tools so that you can see. It kind of bridges the gap between what's going on and what's coming out of my mouth and what's going on clairvoyantly, clairaudiently for me, and allows you to see the information in a different way. Does that make sense? Okay, so thank you for joining me, and I will see you again soon.